Hey, good evening. Maria back with another video. It's 8:14. It is, for some reason, I keep thinking it's Monday, and it's not Monday. It is actually Tuesday. Tuesday evening, 8:14 p.m., December 14th. And I'm going to be going to bed pretty early. I didn't really sleep very well last night, so I'm hoping to get enough sleep this evening. I wake up refreshed tomorrow. Oh, Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. That's a good sign, though. That's a good sign. The very fact that I yawned is a good sign because I need to I need to relax, and that's like, it's a sign that I'm like kind of winding down. So anyway, I wanted to come on here and make a video and kind of talk about my updates and some of the thoughts that were going through my head. And I want to first of all, I'd like to talk about, I noticed that there's a few people who are people are starting to subscribe to my channel. I've increased some of my numbers, and I'm not letting it go to my head by any means, but I do think that the majority of the people who do subscribe to my channel were at one point perps, and people who got involved in the psychological torment and torture of a human being, and kind of wanted to watch my videos as we progressed through the years, as when they first started the what I call harassment campaign. But I do have a lot of targeted individuals who do subscribe to my channel, and I really do want to be a help to the targeted individual community, as much as I possibly can, and try to help them because, like, I make a lot of videos even after I experienced everything and I kind of cracked the code and figured everything out. I'm still dealing with the mental trauma. And I will tell you, when you are a targeted individual, you are in a state of depression, fear, anxiety, 24 hours a day, and it never lets up. And I do have a lot of compassion for these people. I've seen some people make videos and some of these channels. Some of these people have lost so much, so many important things in their lives, because of the jealousy and the competitiveness, and most importantly, the thoughtless behavior of other people who claim to care about them. Okay, and that's one of the biggest disappointments in this, because you lose family members, people lose family members, people lose people that they thought were friends. And I will say that I've been doing a lot of thinking about people's expectations and ideals in life. Okay, and everybody always seems to think that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Everybody tends to think that this person has something that they want, and they covet things that other people have. And I think it's kind of it's understandable to a certain degree, but a lot of it's just imaginary. You know, um, Obviously, I was attacked by my perps because the people who attacked me were from my past. And when I was, growing up and I was around these particular individuals, they saw me at a very bad time in my life, where I felt as though I was never in the right environment. I was a very lost person because of, the where I started from. I was not raised to express my feelings. I was not raised to pursue really anything. I literally went to school, came home, and I didn't really have any way of um, uh, any sort of plan mapped out for me. My family was very limited in their understanding about how to cultivate a person. So everything I learned on my own, and I was very frustrated um, on what I was going to do in my life, and I didn't really have any sense of direction. And I realized that I needed to get away from the negative environment that I was in. I was always depressed because I was around negative people and blah, 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 blah. And so when I got away from these people, at least I thought I was getting away from these people. I mean, they were obviously spying on me, setting up jobs and stuff like that and stuff. But I started finding myself. Like, I felt like I could breathe. I could, everything was better for me, except for the mobbing and shit like that. But as far as like really finding myself, it was good for me. And so many times when people from your past, they come into your life and they see the progress that you've made in your life, okay, the changes that you made in your life. Like, I know I hear a lot of people talking about how they may have appeared on Facebook, or somebody might have seen a recent picture of them, seen them on one of their own, on a company website, and these people might have been a part of their past, and these ideas start conjuring up in these people's minds that this person might be a jet setter now. They go on vacation. They think their lives are so great. I don't know what people conjured up in their mind to set off this hate campaign against me, which I will call it a hate campaign. But this is what people do. People become extremely jealous, and they want to see you in a state of misery. And so they impose their will. They do things behind the scenes and all this other stuff. So I know I've seen a lot of targeted individual videos, and I really do think it's a good idea to make videos. It's good to be as active as you can. You might think that you're not getting any viewers, even though you have very few. It shows on your video screen, or your reports, analytics reports, statistics. I don't know what they call that, but the report stating how people are responding to your videos. You might make a video and it might show that you have 5 views, okay? But the fact is, there's people who are so jealous of you that they are actually downloading your videos and distributing them to other people. Okay, when you have perps who are that jealous of you, believe me, they are watching your videos, okay? And if it's only your perps watching your videos, at least you can confront them and let them know what they're doing is wrong, okay? And I will tell you, for the perps that I experienced, it made them amp up. It made them increase their harassment campaign, because they are extremely jealous. They feel this sense of entitlement. And it's very scary. It is very scary, okay? It's terrifying, okay? When they are enacting terrorism on you, and it's almost like it's uncontrollable for them, because they feel so competitive, like they want to win in a game that you have no interest in playing. But anyway, so this particular video, I think I was going to name it. I kind of got off the subject, is like, understanding the mental illness in others. And, I've been thinking a lot about how, people who are so fixated on another human being. I did a video about, what was it? The different kinds of stalkers. And I was talking about one of the stalkers. I forgot his name. I mentioned him in the video, but he was a guy who was so obsessed with Jodie Foster that he tried to assassinate the president in her honor. Like, he thought that somehow in his mind that she was going to be, honored at this ridiculous attempt to assassinate the president. I think when people have this like extreme need of extreme sports or whatever, it can get out of hand. It can get out of control, and I do consider it to be a form of mental illness. And what I experienced was dealing with, and that's one of the reasons why I have so much trauma, is because I felt like somebody was abusing me to the point of where, like I said, like they were pushing me against the wall and threatening my life, and they enjoyed doing it. There's no doubt in my mind that these people didn't enjoy doing it. I wanted to talk about the people that I slowly came to realize was involved in this, and that would be my son's father, Bruce. He was the last person that I suspected to be a part of this, because, he lives in a different community. He lives up in Northern California. I don't see him. I haven't seen this person I think the last time I actually saw him in person, it might have been, I don't know why I keep thinking it was in 2003, but now I'm thinking about it, I think I might have seen him again back in 2008, maybe. Somehow or another, I think maybe he showed up at my apartment when he maybe saw my son or something, but I don't keep in contact with this person, okay? So the main purpose, you know, I was thinking were people that were in my current life. I don't deal with Bruce, and I don't deal with his family. And I already mentioned in one of my videos that I didn't think it was a good idea. I realized when I was younger that I made a mistake in getting involved with this person. So I didn't want to continue having a relationship, in whether that be romantic or platonic, with this particular person. And you know, I felt as though, you know, I think his mother is extremely mentally ill. I used to wonder, because I knew that my son's father, Bruce, he seemed, you know, the same kind of bullshit that guys do to girls. Like they say they're going to show up and they don't show up. And then I used to react in a way where it's like, well, how come you're doing this to me? Why are you doing this? You know, did I do something wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Because this is what girls do. And I didn't realize that I was dealing with a narcissistic person. I really didn't understand that. And so, you know, and then it always makes it look like the girl is always the one who is the person who seems unstable or whatever. But they don't, but what they're actually doing is they're reacting to the abuser's behavior. There's a bunch of information on that, okay? And so I realized, you know, look, we're not compatible. But what bothers me is that this man has paid. He never paid child support. Okay, when I got pregnant with him, I left and I decided to take care of my son on my own, okay? So this man basically works things behind the scenes, tries to deprive me of work, okay? Tries to tell me how to do my work, all the while I'm raising my son. Now, this is a man who has clearly demonstrated he cares nothing about his child, okay? I'm basically trying to put a roof over my son's head, and this man has caused me nothing but problems. I don't appreciate somebody trivializing my life, and I don't appreciate somebody trying to dictate my life. I don't appreciate somebody telling me what I'm supposed to wear, what kind of religion I'm supposed to be a part of. I mean, I'm so disgusted by these people. You know what I mean? Extremely disgusted. And I just felt like I needed to say that. I needed to get that off my chest, okay? I don't want a relationship with these people. Okay, and some people would say, well, don't you forgive? No, I don't forgive. Okay, forgiveness is understandable under certain circumstances. Okay, and I will say that you should always try to move on. I will say that this issue is eating me up because every day I'm sitting here thinking about the life I could have had. I could have had a better life, a better quality of life. I don't get me wrong, things are pretty good right now, okay? I'm not knocking that, okay? But you can tell that there was a lot taken out of me, in the inside of me, and then depriving me of my life, you know, and then feeling entitled to even express your opinion on how I live my life. You know what I mean? I don't like these people. I will never like these people. And I don't ever want to see these people again. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are afraid to cut off people because they are, I understand. I will tell you, I do have a very lonely existence. I do. I will tell you that because I don't trust anybody. Okay, once you've been involved in gang stalking and once you understand that people complied with the very people who have done nothing but abused you, you wonder, what were these people thinking? Okay, they don't know these people. Like, they don't, I mean, and I don't see how in the world they could have believed what these people were doing and how they supported these people. So once you start realizing that evil, people are evil and that they're willing to participate in something this evil, you will become very leery of people. I'm very leery of people. Okay. You know, I don't claim to be a perfect person, you know what I mean? But I think I did enough in my life, meaning, I think I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger, but as I got older, I tried to do the best I possibly could. I don't think I never hurt anybody in my adult life. What I mean is that when I got to the point where I realized that certain things could hurt other people, I didn't do those things. You know what I mean? I never interrupted Bruce's family and then tried to, I never expected anything from them. I simply never contacted these people. I simply did not want them to be a part of my life. And now, excuse me, um, I'm just, I wake up sometimes at night and I deal with the feeling of, it's like a morbid feeling. Okay. A part of it comes from, the fact that my mother passed away. And the fact that my family, was a part of this sort of abuse. I don't know what in the world they were thinking that they thought that I wanted Bruce. Did they think that? I mean, and I don't know why they would think that. I never acknowledged Bruce. You know what I mean? After like the 2000s, I mean, I remember he would come around like in the early 2000s or something, but I don't have a relationship with him. He would see my son every once in a blue moon. I didn't get any financial support from him, and I'm not a gold digger by any means, okay? But like I said, what kind of a monster would not pay child support when you're trying to take care of I'm trying to take care of my son, who just so happens to have the same blood running through his veins, his father's blood. You know what I mean? This is his father. This is Bruce's son, his biological son. Okay. Now, I don't expect Bruce to, I never expected Bruce to, adopt him or whatever, but he could have at least respected the fact that I was trying to keep a roof over my son's head. And here you have this motherfucker, causing me problems at work and then launching racist hate campaigns against me. I think I would really be happy if Bruce dropped off the fucking face of this earth, including his mother and his sister. I don't know what happened to his dad. I don't give a fuck about these people. Okay, all I'm saying is, and I have to say this, okay, I do have to say this, because like I said, there's a part of me that wants closure. And this is an issue that eats at me, and it's beyond my control. This is what gets me up in the middle of the night, and I get angry, and I get, like, really disturbed, okay, because I never got closure. If these people had any decency, they would apologize. Not apologize because they're going to lose public face because they have to admit that they're fucking assholes. They would do it because they showed that they were responsible people and that they at least cared enough to not let somebody carry this sort of emotional weight for the rest of their life. But they don't care about that. Okay, they care about their fucking image, okay? Their fake Jehovah's Witness bullshit that they hide behind. Okay? And it's completely fine with them to do so. Okay? And that includes all the people that I used to know. These people knew good and well that they were bullying and harassing me. Bruce has never done anything for me other than be a complete and total fucking asshole. Okay? He's done nothing for his son at all. Okay, so you fucking give his mom a job, but then you fucking harass her, and then you set stipulations on how a person's supposed to work? What kind of fucking person are you? You know what I mean? No, I don't respect that, So anyway, so that's how I feel. And how I truly feel is that, because I don't have closure, because really what I need to see is I need to see these people hauled off to jail, or them being, seriously, if they could be put in front of a firing squad, that would be extremely emotionally gratifying. And some people say, oh, that's terrible to say, Maria. No, it's not. Okay, I'm thinking about all the years that I have got up, went to work. There were times where I had to commute, to the Los Angeles area from the Antelope Valley. Sometimes I would get stuck in the rain, okay? Only so I can come to work and have to deal with a fucking harassing environment. And these are the fucking people who were doing it to me. Didn't give a fuck if I kept a roof over my kid's head or not. These people are fucking evil. Period. And I would like to say that I don't want to like bash Jehovah's Witnesses, because even though I choose not to be a Jehovah's Witness, okay, I do think that there's a lot of sincere people who want to devote themselves to this sort of belief system, okay? And even though I don't necessarily agree with everything the Watchtower and Tract Society says, I do know that there have been some sincere members within that organization. But I will also say that Jehovah's Witnesses, this is a farce on their part, because they used other people who were not even associated with being Jehovah's Witnesses to harass me. You know what I mean? If they were trying to recruit me into their, I don't like to call Jehovah's Witness religion a cult, but I will say it's a very misguided religion. If this is what they were trying to do, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't seem like this would be something that would be approved in a congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. In fact, Jehovah's Witnesses do have very high standards. I know that if you bring like public shame or whatever onto their organization, that you could get reprimanded from that. You know, like they do have things like disfellowshipping and stuff. And really, I think that if I was an elder or somebody who was presiding over a congregation, I would definitely look at these people and I would want explanation as to why they would do what they did. And how is it that you can call yourself a Jehovah's Witness or somebody who's supposed to represent the word of, you know, of God? Or how is it that you're supposed to make Jehovah's organization something that people would want to be a part of? You know, I know that gang stalking and human trafficking is done in other religions. Like I mentioned in a few of my other videos, how the Church of Scientology is good at that. The Ku Klux Klan is good at that. I know I knew a Mormon guy who left Mormonism, and his congregation put something in place to where he couldn't find a job. And the purpose of this is how arrogant this fucking shit is, okay? Is that they want you to feel that you are so broken that you're going to come back to their organization all humbled, so that they could turn things around. And now, I'm not saying that this was their intent, okay, like Bruce's family's intent, but this is one of a certain religion's strategy, or their tactic that they use in order to get their members back. They basically like to create the curses, and they also like to create the blessings. So they'll go out and tell people, don't hire this person until you become humbled, right? And so you're going to be broken. You're going to be sad. You're going to possibly be homeless. You're going to be doing, you know, you're not going to be doing so good. So then you're going to be all like, oh, I'm crying. And then somebody's going to come up to you and they're going to preach to you. And since you have nowhere else to go and no other resources, you're going to go back to this particular organization. And it's going to be, and then they're going to turn it around like, see, ever since you found God, this came into your life, and blah, 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 blah. They create the curses, they create the blessings. Okay, and it is a cult. And they actually, in by what they're doing is they are themselves acting like they're God, because they decide whether or not you live or die, whether you eat, whether you are blessed, whether you're cursed. You know what I mean? And it's wrong, it's erroneous. You know, and I'm very shocked, and I'm very sorry that that I got sucked up into this. You know, and every fucking day I go through it. Every fucking day I go through it. You know, some days are better than others. Some days are better than others, but I go through a lot of trauma. And when I dealt with the fact that you know, I was trying to, actually, I think I mentioned you before that I had contacted a mental health professional because, not because obviously I will tell you I do deal with trauma. And I will say that I have become mentally ill because of it. Okay, now I'm not mentally ill to the point of where I am, what's the word, disabled, to where I can't function, because obviously I get up and go to work every day. You know, every once in a while I might crack a smile or something like that. But I deal with trauma. I wake up with trauma. Every day I feel like something is wrong. Like there's something dark around me. And it's because of I'm dealing with what happened to me. Somebody invading myself. Somebody taking away my rights. Somebody who was exploiting me, basically. Somebody who was trying to make me make concessions for my own survival. Okay, that is a very negative, torturous, an evil thing to do. You know, and they actually felt as though they had the right to do so. Okay, that's evil, is what you are. You're fucking evil, you know. And when you deal with somebody who's evil, it's going to mark you. It is. It's going to mark you. Just like, you know, you see some of these people who've been kidnapped, or they've dealt with what do they call it, ritual abuse. There's a lot of people who are ritual survivors, ritual abuse survivors, and I will kind of classify this as ritual abuse, even though it's not as bad. It's like some people have dealt with ritual abuse to where like they've literally have been. I mean, you know, you look it up, Google it, okay? Some people have gone through all kinds of trauma through ritualistic abuse, and most of these ritualistic abuse cases come from, and they'll label it satanic. They'll label it satanic only because they're basing it off of the acts and the horrors that actually occur to a particular person, because it's so horrifying that they think, man, only the devil could do this. But surprisingly, most of these so-called satanic ritual abuse things that actually occur come from people who come from so-called Christian denominations. Okay, a lot of these people have split minds. Some of these people are like, they're like the Manchurian type candidate type of individual, to where, like, you know, they'll be normal at one point, and then all of a sudden they switch modes and they do other things that they shouldn't be doing. There's a lot of brainwashing and mind control that goes on in some of these so-called churches. Okay, and I don't know exactly how deep, you know, my Bruce's family is in all of this. I don't recognize that sort of behavior from Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, I've always thought that Jehovah's Witnesses may have been a little misguided, maybe, but overall I had a good image of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, because I felt as though these people at least had sincerity. I hope that there was nobody in the Kingdom Hall who was endorsing this shit. I really do. I really hope that nobody in the Kingdom Hall thought that this was an okay thing to do. Because it's not. You know, not legally, not scripturally, not at all. Okay? And I'm disturbed by it. Very disturbed by it. And I'm sad because it's like, you know, I remember when a little after I had my son, I kept thinking, maybe I should just tell my son that his dad died so that he doesn't have to know him. And then I kept thinking, you know, my mom was like, oh, you know, but that's his dad, you know. My mother was a very naive person, okay? A very naive person, okay? My son's father is a racist, and everything that he did shows it, okay? And he's also somebody who doesn't belong in my environment. You know, how dare you tell me how to live in my own body? You know what I mean? How dare you try to make it seem like I have to justify what I do for myself? If I want to wear clothes, if I want to wear my hair a certain way, I'm not your wife, thank goodness. You know what I mean? I am not your wife. I wouldn't want to be your fucking wife. You know what I mean? Does he still have a wife? She ditched him? I don't fucking know, but stay the hell out of my life. You know what I mean? There are certain things that can just go, that it's just like way beyond control. It's like it's beyond forgivable. And like I said, when I think about the years that all this shit was going on, and the suffering that I went through, you know, year after year, and picking myself up, trying to think that things are going to get better, only so the shit can fall apart again. You know what I mean? I'm disturbed by it, really. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I deal with mental illness. There's a lot of other people who deal with mental illness. We live in a world where it's surprising if people don't have some form of mental illness, okay? But the key is that we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to understand that, you know, we live in a very self-serving world where people are willing to walk all over you. We live in an abusive world, too, because I was just reading an article. I didn't finish it, mind you, but it was basically talking about how more adults bully people more than children do. You know, and I didn't finish reading the article, but as I was looking at, just glancing at it, I kept thinking, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, because they do bully people, and they don't realize that they're bullying people. They think, they think it's funny to do this sort of thing, or they think that they don't mind causing other people inconveniences. They think that they have the right to cause them inconvenience, and then when your person speaks out, they'll try to shut them up, silence them, or whatever. When they need to realize, hey, this person has the right to be angry. This person has the right to stand up for themselves. But they don't realize what they're doing is bullying a person. Okay, and this is, it's more than shocking, but this sort of behavior is exhibited from adults more than anybody, and so we live in an abusive society. So when people deal with mental illness and they're upfront about it, they shouldn't be ashamed to say it, because there's a lot of suffering going on. We see homeless people every day. That's got to affect you. It's got to affect a person to a certain degree to see somebody who's homeless, or to go through job after job and then lose your job over and over again, picking up, starting over, somebody causing problems at your job. That, what that's like when you have like this social cancer sitting here at your workplace. That is like somebody trying to kill you. It really is. Hey, I can fucking throw you out of a job, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to survive, and somebody thinks that shit's funny. You know what I mean? It's not funny. So this is the kind of behavior. We live in a very barbaric society. So I'm upfront and I'm honest with my mental illness. You know what I mean? And I deal with my mental illness, and I'm realistic about it. And I know not to judge other people, because, like I said, when you look outside of the world, I don't know how anybody couldn't be mentally ill. Okay, but it's all a matter of how you deal with it. You know what I mean? It's a matter of how you cope with it. You can let it make you crumble, or you can just say, you know what? Come out and say it. You know what? I am dealing with trauma. Years of abuse and trauma. Multiple years of of struggling, multiple years of losing jobs, or even worse, being manipulated into jobs, or the sadness that I felt of losing a lot of my goals in life just because somebody was selfish. Because somebody was fucking selfish, exercising their white supremacy in public form. Fuck you, Terry Collins, if that's even your goddamn name. Okay? So yeah, I am pissed off, and I have every right to be. Because, you get these people, and even the people that I used to know who aren't even related to the Collins, like, these people knew that I was going through trauma. Did they make any fucking effort to try to calm me and soothe me down? No. Like I said, when you deal with gang stalking, all these people fuck your shit up. They leave you in a state of utter, mental disturbance. And then they basically, it's almost like they fucking, torture you, throw you out in a car in the middle of a fucking forest, and then drive off. And then you're just sitting here all by yourself. Like, there's not one person I can call if something was to happen to me. Not one. Okay? And, that sucks and everything, but at the same time, it's you also have to look at it this way. These people are fucking backstabbers. I have not known a single decent person in my fucking life. That's reality. Okay? So when you think about somebody being mentally ill, and like I said, I might be mentally ill to the point where I'm not drooling on myself. I'm not I'm not going to be violent. I'm not any of those sort of things. But what I am is I'm a realist. I'm a person who has dealt with a lot of shit that they didn't need to deal with, and I had to deal with it by myself. So I'm not ashamed of that. And I don't think other people should be ashamed of their mental illness either. And, the only shame in it is when you inflict your harm on other people. And, there's people who are mentally ill from being overly jealous. Like, I think, I really do. That the girl from, what is that place? Murray Family Farms. I think she was involved with my, with Bruce, and I think Bruce used her to pit her against me, which was a completely racist song. Never mind the fact, that was a completely racist move on his part. Never mind the fact that, I don't even want to go there. Okay. But the thing is that this girl obviously has mental illness because she felt as though she was entitled to be a part of this. And she feels like this sick, morbid sense of jealousy towards me. Okay? And you can become mentally ill to where you are basically enacting murderous sort of things on other people. So there's a lot of like unbalanced people. And don't get me wrong, I'm somebody who holds things very well together. You know, I think I project an image of somebody who's always got my shit together. And you know what? I would say that I'm stronger than the majority of people. I do have tremendous strength, mental strength that it's just like unheard of. Okay, because a lot of people would have caved in this. They would have submitted. They would be like, oh, I'll be a Jehovah's Witness. I'll wear baggy jeans and I'll wear sweats and a fucking t-shirt. I'll comply with your fucked up rules just so they can fucking, you know, eat. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm going to have to live a life of basically a slave, then blow my goddamn brains out first. Kill me, or I'll kill myself, because that's the most humane thing to do. You know? People don't know how hardcore I can really fucking be. People have never really seen me in a critical moment, but when they do, oh yeah, they will be afraid of me. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys all be kind to yourself, and that I hope that I attract more targeted individuals, and I hope that my biggest prayer for them is that they find themselves out of being a targeted individual, that they it's very hard, let's be honest now, it's very hard to find true friends in this world, okay, but I hope that you do find someone in your life that you can care about, because that is important, okay. But hang in there, is what I'm saying. And it's a sad world that you can't trust people. But the one thing you have to always remember is you have to learn to trust yourself. Okay? And it's okay to be your best friend. It's totally fine to be your best friend. Don't stop loving yourself. Don't stop caring about yourself. Don't listen to what these people say. Like I said, to comply with what other people want you to do, you are nothing more than a fucking slave, and your life is worthless. You continue being who you are. I'm going to wrap up this video. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye-bye.